On first down, it's Barkley, and it's Luvu. Bringing him down for a loss.
Having a good defense is just as important as having a good offense in today's NFL. Unfortunately, it seems a few teams out there didn't quite get that memo. Defense wins championships is simply not a myth in football. You have to have a reliable enough unit with the right amount of game changers to compete for a Super Bowl. So, with the 2023 NFL season right around the corner, how do all 32 NFL defenses stack up against each other? Well, let's dive right into it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, even though it might not be the prettiest look, but I'm going to do my best to get it done for sure.
Number 32, Arizona Cardinals. Oh boy, where do we even start? The Cardinals were 31st in scoring D last year and lost future Hall of Famer J.J. Watt, another reliable pass rusher in Zach Allen, and their top cornerback in Byron Murphy. Budda Baker is still one of the game's best safeties, but the Cardinals don't have a single game changer on this side of the ball otherwise.
Then the ball comes out, it's loose, and it's picked up by the Cardinals in midfield. It's picked up by Byron Murphy.
Number 31, Las Vegas Raiders. Getting Texas Tech defensive lineman Tyree Wilson at number 7 overall was a pretty nice move, but it remains to be seen how much he'll actually play as a rookie. Max Crosby is still a superstar, but the Raiders don't offer much else on top of that. We've got no reason to think that this unit will be the slightest bit better compared to the wretched group that we saw last year. Number 30, Minnesota Vikings. Well, this could also get really bad. The Vikings had the number 28 scoring D last year and allowed the second most yards. They lost their top cornerback in Patrick Peterson, sack specialist Darius Smith, and workhorse linebacker Eric Kendricks. We're not exactly sold on Byron Murphy and Marcus Davenport serving as an upgrade over the guys they're replacing. Hey, good luck with this group, Brian Flores. You're gonna need it. Number 29, Houston Texans. Rookie Will Anderson Jr. and second-year defensive backs Jalen Petrie and Derek Stingley Jr. lead a promising nucleus here. An ex-49ers safety Jimmy Ward was a savvy pickup to help out the secondary, but the rest of the secondary has some serious question marks. The linebacker core remains a problem, and the defensive line lacks proven impact players. Number 28, Chicago Bears. No team surrendered more points last year than the Bears, but they did spend a lot of dough to address that side of the ball this offseason. Enter Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, Marcus Walker, and Yannick Ngakoue, who suddenly give the Bears a scary-looking front seven. For this D to take another step, however, Chicago will need immense production from its young defensive backs. Number 27, Detroit Lions. The Lions allowed the most yards last season. Only Arizona and Chicago allowed more points per game. Detroit also didn't have a single player with double-digit sacks, with rookie Aiden Hutchinson leading the way with 9.5. But you know, there is upside if Hutchinson and Malcolm Rodriguez take their game to another level, and if rookies Jack Campbell and Brian Branch can make some impact. Also, the signings of CJ Gardner-Johnson, Emmanuel Mosley, and Cam Sutton can only improve a secondary that has been an issue for a while now. Number 26, Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta's D was mediocre in every key aspect last year, and it prompted GM Terry Fontenot to go crazy on fixing the unit. Enter safety Jesse Bates III, cornerback Jeff Okudah, and veterans Calais Campbell, Bud Dupree, David Onyemata, and Caden Ells to beef up the front seven. AJ Terrell and Grady Jarrett, Atlanta's only defensive stars, finally have some support. So, will it all come together? Well, stay tuned. Number 25, Indianapolis Colts. Shaquille Leonard and DeForest Buckner are still superstars, but there's really not much else to love here. Indy's top corner of 2022, Stephon Gilmore, was traded to the Dallas Cowboys for pennies on the dollar. 2021 first-rounder Kwity Paye had 6 sacks last year, so he is a potential breakout candidate to watch. Aside from the front seven, however, that secondary is loaded with question marks. Truth be told, all eyes are on rookie QB Anthony Richardson in Indy this year anyway. Number 24, Los Angeles Rams. The Rams' D dropped from championship level to mediocre in just 1 year. They still have the game's best defensive player in Aaron Donald, and not much else, really. All-Pro corner Jalen Ramsey, future Hall of Famer and linebacker Bobby Wagner, and reliable edge rusher Leonard Floyd are all gone. Raheem Morris is one of the best defensive minds in the game, but he's got a really tall task here in turning the Rams' D back into a juggernaut. Number 23, Carolina Panthers. This unit has some upside, but will it ever gel together? Brian Burns is a rock star, and when healthy, J.C. Horn, limited to 16 games through 2 seasons, has been among football's elite shutdown corners. Was Frankie Louis' career year that saw him post 7 sacks a breakout campaign, or was it just a flash in the pan? Will Justin Houston again defy Father Time and push for double-digit sacks? Just so many questions and really not enough answers with this group. Number 22, Tennessee Titans. The Titans are weird. They're machines in the front seven, but absolutely awful in the secondary. In 2022, they were dead last against the pass and number 1 against the run. In regards to sacks and takeaways, they were a middle-of-the-pack group. Jeffrey Simmons, Danico Autry, Harold Landry, and Arden Key headline a stout front seven, but star safety Kevin Byard can't do it all in the secondary. Can youngsters Roger McCreary and Caleb Farley and free agent pickup Sean Murphy-Bunting help out there? Well, if so, this actually could be a borderline top 10 unit. Number 21, Miami Dolphins. Miami's D wasn't exactly special in any major categories last year. Losing prize trade acquisition Jalen Ramsey until December is a big-time blow, but it shouldn't completely sink this group. We're sure he'll find a way to get more out of this group than Josh Boyer. Look, having Xavier Howard, Jalen Phillips, Emmanuel Ogbah, Christian Wilkins, Javon Holland, and a full year of Bradley Chubb, yeah, I'd say that's a pretty nice nucleus to work around. Definitely not a hopeless group. Number 20, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs D fell well short of expectations last year. We wouldn't be surprised if this is a top 10 group again, but a lot really has to go right. Can Levante David again fight off Father Time? Will Shaq Barrett be 100%? Will Devin White regain his 2020 superstar form? Antoine Winfield Jr. and Vita Vea remain some of the game's best at their respective positions though, and rookie Kalijah Kancey could help this rush D return to dominant status after a very sloppy year. Number 19, New York Giants. The Giants D isn't loaded with stars, but Brian Dable and Don Wink Martindale found a way to get immense production out of this unit last year. The G-Men didn't dominate any specific categories last year, but being average was enough to end a 6-year playoff drought and lead the club to the Elite Eight. Now, if youngsters Deontay Banks, Dexter Lawrence, Azeez Ojulari, and or Kayvon Thibodeau make major progress, well, then the potential for this group is gonna be limitless. Number 18, Los Angeles Chargers. You know what you got with this group. A top 10 secondary, a world-class pass rusher in Joey Bosa, but also a really soft rush D and a unit that commits an unbelievable amount of brain cramps. Hence the whole, classic Chargers thing. Bosa, Derwin James Jr., Asante Samuel Jr., and Khalil Mack round out a nice nucleus. But it just feels like the D never fully lives up to its sky-high potential. So, as usual, expect a middle-of-the-pack finish here in most categories. Number 17, Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs' strength under DC Steve Spagnuolo will always be the pass rush. They had 55 sacks last season, second most in the league behind only Philadelphia. This is a classic bend, don't break D. They'll give up their yards, but make up for it with red zone stops, turnovers, and sacks. Number 16, Green Bay Packers. Felt like the Packers D didn't live up to its ceiling last year. Jair Alexander is a top 5 corner. The front 7 is loaded with pass rushers and supremely athletic linebackers. Kenny Clark, Devondre Campbell, Devontae Wyatt, Quay Walker, Lucas Van Ness, Rashawn Gary, Preston Smith. Look, it's loaded on paper. It's gotta come together. So, we'll see if that actually happens this year. Number 15, Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks were a bottom half team in both yards allowed and points allowed last season. But we expect a big jump this year. Tariq Woolen and Kobe Bryant should improve after impressive rookie years, and rookie Devin Witherspoon should immediately produce in that defense. The Hawks brought back Bobby Wagner and signed Draymond Jones to bolster the front 7. Uchenna Nwosu is coming off a career-high 9.5 sack season, and of course, Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams are as dynamic of a safety duo as it'll get. There is immense potential for the Seattle D. Number 14, Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence and the offense got all the love last year, but the Jags' bend-don't-break defense finished 12th in scoring a year ago. This group is loaded with young talents in Trayvon Walker, Tyson Campbell, Josh Allen, Andre Sisco, and veteran Foye Oluokun, who's coming off a breakout year. The potential to be a top 5 unit is there, so let's see if they can make the jump to elite in 2023. Number 13, Cleveland Browns. The Browns D has been mediocre at best for a while now, but we're confident that they're going to make a big jump this year. Myles Garrett is still a top 5 defensive player in the league, and now he finally has some much-needed pass rushing help with newcomers Zadarius Smith, Dalvin Tomlinson, and Obo Okoronkwo. Juan Thornhill was a great pickup in free agency to bolster the secondary. Martin Emerson is a top breakout candidate, and Pro Bowler Denzel Ward should rebound from a rough year. The ceiling for this group is a top 5 D, and the floor, well, it's a bottom 20 at worst. worst. Number 12, Denver Broncos. Denver's stingy D finished 7th in yards and 14th in scoring D. Pretty impressive considering how many unfavorable situations the league's worst offense put them in last year. Patrick Surtain II and Justin Simmons headline a lockdown secondary. The front seven has 3 capable game changers: Frank Clark, Zach Allen, and Alex Singleton. If Russell Wilson can rebound in 2023, it'll help Denver's D return to elite status. Number 11, Washington Commanders. Washington allowed the 3rd fewest yards per game last season, and they finished 7th in scoring. They bring back the same defensive nucleus of last year, plus the arrival of first-year corner Emmanuel Forbes. Washington's strength is a ferocious front seven, headlined by Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, and Chase Young. Expect the D, again, to be close to a top 5 or 10 unit in 2023. Number 10, Baltimore Ravens. With the exception of 2021, the Ravens have fielded a top 10 scoring D every year since 2016. They give up a lot of yards through the air, but this group always finds a way to hold in the red zone. Only 7 teams had more takeaways than the Ravens D, which racked up 27. We're concerned about the lack of a proven edge rushing star here, but the Marcus Williams, Kyle Hamilton, Marlon Humphrey-led secondary should once again flourish and keep this team in games week in and week out. Number 9, New Orleans Saints. Despite a rash of injuries to keep players on D, the Saints finished top 10 in yards, scoring, and sacks. There is no telling how far this unit could go if the main stars stay healthy in 2023. Cameron Jordan and Demario Davis headline a stout front seven. If youngsters Pete Warner, Peyton Turner, and/or Brian Breesy can also produce early, hey, look out, league. The secondary, as always, will be more than serviceable with Marshawn Lattimore, Tyrann Mathieu, and Marcus May leading the way. As always, this D will give opponents a ton of fits, and it'll help having one of the league's easiest schedules. Number 8, Cincinnati Bengals. Cincy isn't exactly loaded with A-listers on defense, but Lou Anarumo's scheme just keeps on suffocating opposing quarterbacks. They ranked 6th in scoring D last year, after all. It's your typical bend-don't-break D that gives up its fair share of big plays. But then they redeem themselves with the game-changing plays of their own. Number 7, New York Jets. Gang Green was top 4 in yards, passing D, and scoring D last year. Quite impressive considering how many tough spots the atrocious offense put them in. But now Aaron Rodgers is here to save the day on offense, making life all the more easy for an already stingy D. Sauce Gardner is ready to cement himself as the game's top corner, and the Carl Lawson, Quinnen Williams pass rush just might hit its peak together this year. No matter what, it's gonna be fun to watch. Number 6, Pittsburgh Steelers. Reigning Defensive Player of the Year TJ Watt missed 7 games last year, yet the Steelers still allowed the 10th fewest points. Minkah Fitzpatrick is the best safety in football. Rookie Joey Porter Jr. could make an immediate impact on that secondary. Oh, and Alex Highsmith and Cameron Hayward are super studs in that front seven. Number 5, New England Patriots. Nothing new to see here. As long as Bill Belichick is coach of the Patriots, their D will always be close to number 1 every year. Josh Uche and Matt Judon broke out together as one of football's elite pass rushing duos. The secondary got even scarier after the Pats drafted Oregon corner Christian Gonzalez in round 1. Not sure how the Pats will fare in a brutal AFC East division, but the D will keep them in every game as always. Number 4, Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys' prolific offense gets most of the love, but the D has been the backbone of this team over the last 2 years. Dallas led the league in takeaways last season with 33, and only Philly and KC topped the Cowboys' sack total of 54. It's scary to think that the D just added another all-pro level cornerback in Stephon Gilmore, who could easily form the league's number 1 cornerback duo with Trayvon Diggs. Oh, and Micah Parsons will contend for the sacks title, so carry on. Number 3, Buffalo Bills. Number 2 in scoring D last year, 6th fewest yards allowed per game, tied for the 3rd most takeaways. Yeah, this is a juggernaut already. The Bills' D wasn't the same after they lost Von Miller for the year with a torn ACL in the Thanksgiving game. If he's healthy though, then the Miller, Matt Milano, and Leonard Floyd three-headed monster will be a downright unstoppable beast. Tre'Davious White can be an all-pro corner again at full strength, and Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer are still football's number 1 safety duo. Number 2, Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles led the NFL in sacks last year with 70. They had the number 8 scoring D and allowed the 2nd fewest yards per game. Only 3 teams finished with more takeaways than the Eagles' 27. James Bradbury and Darius Slay were football's top cornerback duo last year. This already dangerous front 7 added Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter, as if Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Hassan Reddick, and Josh Sweat weren't scary enough. Number 1, San Francisco 49ers. All San Fran did last year was allow the fewest yards and points. Only Dallas had more takeaways than the 49ers. 33. Fred Warner is the best linebacker in football, and Nick Bosa is the reigning defensive player of the year. Come on, are we really supposed to put another defense in this spot? Get real. But What team do you think is fielding the best defense this year? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.